Hey guys, hope your week has gotten off to a great start. It's Monday morning here and I'm bringing nothing but good energy your way this week, and I'm sharing my favorite houseplants. Now, full disclosure, there are going to be a handful of plants in my home and in my houseplant collection, like my Monstera, that, it's always going to be one of my favorites. And the same thing goes for my fiddle leaf figs. Those are always going to be my favorites, but in this video today, I want to go beyond those kind of all-time favorites and really dig into those houseplants that I have that I'm really sort of loving at the moment. And, there's a few surprises in there. And I also want to share a couple of houseplants that you may not have heard of or you may not be aware of. So I'm going to include those as well. So yeah, my Monstera, my fiddle leaf fig, those, it goes without saying, are definitely favorites, but I want to dig a little deeper today and share with you guys some other houseplant faves. All right, guys, so an all-time favorite is definitely my fishbone cactus. I was able to successfully propagate. As you can see, this little guy here, it did take quite some time, a little bit longer than I had anticipated, but I absolutely love my fishbone cactus. And, they're just really simple to care for, and they're just absolutely stunning. So it shouldn't come as too much of a surprise that the fishbone cactus is currently one of my favorite houseplants, and not far behind my fishbone cactus is my angel wings begonia, or my begonia maculata. Now, this thing has grown so much since I've got it, and it really brings me so much joy. I think it is such a beautiful houseplant, and the way that the new growth comes in and these polka dots, it's absolutely stunning. I've also found this plant very easy to care for, and I just absolutely love everything about it, really. I guess it's, definitely one of my favorites. Now, with those two houseplants kind of at the top of my list, and moving beyond those is where things really start to get interesting. So let me give you guys some insight right now to the houseplants that I'm absolutely living for, and I just couldn't live without these houseplants, and I'm so curious to know your thoughts. So please leave a comment down below. Are some of these your favorites as well? Are they unexpected? Have you heard of these plants? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, guys, so this one may come as a bit of a surprise, but my Norfolk pine has been doing so well, even since bringing it in from the outdoors for the fall. And I have to say, I absolutely love this plant. I got it on sale for, next to nothing on the sale rack, or on the sale rack. On the sale table, I should say, rather. And, it has tripled in size. It is so beautiful, the new growth coming in, and all of, the plant just getting larger. It's just absolutely adorable. It's so fuzzy. It's, this beautiful kind of evergreeny looking plant. I know some folks like to put some ornaments on this when the holidays roll around, but I can't emphasize enough how much I love my Norfolk pine and how much of a current fave it is. It's just got its own thing going on, and yeah, I love it. Another obsession of mine lately has been Macaulay's Finale. This is a philodendron, and the new foliage. As you can see here, the sky has just unfurled, unraveled. It's got a little bit to go down here, but this beautiful deep cherry or bright cherry red, tomato red, whatever you want to call it. It's stunning. It's so beautiful. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember, but this plant had some pests on it when I picked it up from the nursery. And despite seeing some of that, I treated it, and it's thriving. It's doing so well, and I'm so glad I took a chance and the risk with this plant, because it brings so much beauty into this space, and I live for every new leaf, and all of that vibrant red color is it's absolutely amazing. So this next one, I'm actually a little bit surprised about myself. Now, I have done some videos on these beautiful plants. Now, let's see if I can get this out. Now, one of my desert roses has gone into bloom again. Now, these I would not classify these as easy to care for houseplants. They've been quite tricky for myself, and I think that they're pretty tricky for other people too. Anyways, I'm still kind of getting the swing of these plants, but they are absolutely stunning and definitely one of my favorites, especially after this summer, and all three of them bloomed. Now, this next one you may or may not be familiar with. This one is, I believe this is called like a Persian carpet plant or cactus, a Persian carpet flower plant. The bloom is insane. Now, I've had this probably for about half a year. I keep it on a heat pad, and it has grown considerably. No bloom or flower. I'm not sure if there's like if it takes a certain maturity level for those to come in, but I've been watching this little guy grow, and yeah, it's a little bit more of an unexpected favorite, but it's definitely there. It's just really cute and prickly looking, and I'm excited to just care for this guy and get it to flower. Sorry, that's busy running around. She found a toy or something. Now, obviously, there wouldn't be a favorites list without including my amazing giant Ming fern. Now, this guy is just, yeah, absolutely stunning. I just love the architectural, you know, I just love everything about this plant. The new growth is insane when it comes in. I've shown it on some of my videos before, and unfortunately I don't have any new growth right now, but it's just so cool. I love it. It seems to be doing really well and growing quite a bit. And like I said, just the shape and the sort of like starburst of this plant is just totally next level. I think they're kind of hard to find, but this is definitely, you know, one of my all-time favorite houseplants in my collection for sure. Now, another major favorite of mine that you may or may not be familiar with is the chenille plant. Now, I love mine so much that I tried to propagate this plant, and I took 4 different cuttings. Now, it looks like one's definitely kind of made it, and I'm holding out hope for these 2 over here, and actually there is some new growth coming in, so those may ultimately end up being successful propagations. This one in the corner, not so much, but you can see the catkin, the pink catkin, that's kind of, you know, had better days, but this plant is absolutely beautiful, and that's exactly why I wanted to propagate it, so that I can, you know, put this plant in more rooms and just have it more everywhere. I'll definitely throw up some links of what the full plant looks like, and that will give you guys a better idea. But we're getting close to, you know, the end of my fave plants list at the moment, so only a couple more to share. Now guys, I'm totally kind of shocked by this one myself. My Stromathe tricolor is growing. It's so big. I'm gonna try to get a better shot of it, but it's flourishing beyond belief. And I've repotted this thing so many times because it keeps getting bigger and bigger. And I have to say, I love prayer plants, and these guys are looking great too, but I don't know, this one just has a special place for me at the moment. I don't know if it's the variegatedness of it, the pink, or this beautiful burgundy on the backside of the leaf, but I don't know, it's just a current fave. All right, guys, so what do you think of my fave list thus far? I'm absolutely smitten with all of my current fave houseplants, obviously. Yeah, my Monstera, my Fiddle Leaf Fig are always gonna be there, so that's why I didn't really include them in this list. But last, definitely not least, and I think this is also gonna be somewhat unexpected, is my Colocasia Black Magic. Now, I have a upcoming care video coming up on this plant. Now, this guy is back from the brink of death. New foliage comes in this beautiful green, and actually comes in slightly lighter than that, and it over time gets this deep purple black color to it. I'm so happy that there is new growth coming in on it. This guy had a nasty case of spider mites, and luckily you know, during the spring and summer, I was able to take it outdoors and kind of rectify the whole situation, but it's still alive and it's basically flourishing at this point. So I'm so happy that I was able to save it. And yeah, Black Magic is just absolutely stunning. Love this plant. This concludes my current fave houseplants list, guys. Miss you guys so much, and until the next one.